of the Asantehemaa. Now, first of all, tell us about the position and the role of the Queen Mother for the benefit of education. What is her role, and how important would you say her role is?
Yes, the Asantehemaa, for me, when you look at the structure of the Ashanti kingdom, is the second most powerful person when it comes to the kingdom. Many have attributed the second position to the Mampohene, which of course in our traditional parlance mostly is a man who leads, but when it comes to the traditional setup in the palace, the Ohima or the Queen Mother, has some powers, and that powers can never be taken away from her. She is the only person who can summon the Asantehene to her inner chambers. She will just have to send somebody, an emissary, inviting the chief, the king, to her chambers, so that the king have no reason not to respect the call by the Asantehemaa. So she's most of the time regarded as the mother of the stool. She's the only person who can call the king into her inner chambers, rebuke him for the things that he has done.
So obviously her role is very significant and very much so as well. She has a lot of power. This Queen Mother who just passed, and now Queen Adiyadom III. How would you describe her tenure, as Queen Mother? What would you say her legacy, is or are?
David, one important role by the Asantehemaa is the fact that she is a custodian of the powerful stool in the Asante Council. That is the Sikejwa Kofi. The Asantehene is the occupant, and the Queen Mother is the custodian. I hope you see the drift. Yes. So whatever happens to the stool, the Sikejwa Kofi, every question will have to be directed to the Asantehemaa.
And again, if I get what you're saying correctly, it means also that she has a mandate to put a king.
Of course.
Yeah.
No king could be selected without her approval. Once she's alive, she's the one who dictates the selection and then even the pace. There are instances people will have to present their pleas. We call it a gatua. If you want to be the king, it has to be sent through the Asantehemaa. So she's the one who received the gatua and then informed the kingmakers that this is what I have received. Information I have is that this man wants to be the king. So can we consider him and all that? So she'll be the first person to receive all the pleas of anybody who wants to ascend the Sikejwa Kofi.
So this morning we shared a few things, on our Facebook page, showing to our listeners, some of the things that Nana Konadu Yadom III has done. From your own research, share some with us. What will she be remembered by? What are some of the legacies that she's left behind?
Her legacies are not quite different from the Asantehemaas we have had, but just that her case, she is a modern Queen Mother who decided to take some projects the same way as the Asantehene did. Remember when the Asantehene ascended the Golden Stool, he introduced the Otumfuo's Education Fund and several other projects. For the Asantehemaa, she decided to go into this Komfanochi project. She organized a massive event, invited all the Queen Mothers in the Asante mine and encouraged them to also talk about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is one of the key things in modern days. The modern woman will want to, sort of avoid breastfeeding. But as the Asantehemaa, she, with the support of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital and the Menchia Government Hospital, launched this project to encourage women in our days to breastfeeding their children. One would ask, what is so important about this project? Look at the modern day woman, a career woman who has a lot of things on her shoulders. Perhaps you may want to skip over breastfeeding your child. So the Asantehemaa did this. And beyond this, when you go to the palace, she has a court. Many don't know that apart from the Asantehene I would say that there are 3 significant courts within the Ashanti kingdom. One is the Asantehene's court, and that of the Asantehemaa, and then we have the Amanhene or the paramount chiefs. They also have their courts. So Asantehemaa seeks and adjudicates over almost every issue that has to do with family ties at her court. So if you have been to her courts before, that is where most of the issues that has to do with diabo, somebody snatching somebody's husband, issues of child negligence appearing before the Asantehemaa. So her court has always been active, and she will be remembered for the things that she did, especially in support of women in the kingdom.
And of course, the other things that we showed our listeners earlier on this morning had to do with the maternity block she put up at the Mesha, government hospital. We also know that she bought a bus for one of the Savior Glory School at Bonyure.
Oh yeah.
And she also paid
bills. And you know the link between that donation, because the Asantehemaa, with all the Ashanti monarchs, you are born into the Anglican Church. Unlike the Asantehemaa, she was converted into the Savior Church at early stages. So by the age of 20, she has already been baptized into the Savior Church, unlike the many of them who were born into the Anglican Church. You understand? So she decided to donate that bus to the school, because a school has been named after her at Bonyure in the Joso municipality.
And I'm told also that one of the things that she did regularly was to pay for mothers, who had gone to hospitals to deliver at Kofanochi. She paid their bills for them and made sure that they were comfortable. But for want of time, let's talk about the 1 week observation. Now, we all know that when it comes to the Akan culture, especially the Ashanti culture, there's a significance or importance for a 1 week observation. Take a few seconds and tell us about that importance, and also tell us what we are to expect today in terms of the cultural and of the traditional things. What would really happen today at Mesha?
David, let's talk about Thursday. Why the 1 week?
They chose Thursday.
Yes, it's being observed on Thursday. Thursday, because that is the day accepted by the Ashantis for funerals. The day, when you translate it into Chi, Yaodida, it means it's a day for mourning. And traditionally, no traditional leader or whatsoever funeral will be held on a Saturday or any other day apart from Thursday. So importantly, the day is a day marked for the Asantehema's 1 week and for royals, especially in the Ashanti kingdom. So today, being the 1 week celebration, is so important. Early in the morning, you see the leadership, the Abusia Penny and all the leaders from the traditional, the royal family, leading a delegation to the Asantehema's residence, first they'll pour libation and also, undertake some traditional customary rites before allowing the day to set the day in motion. And then we also have the women, those close to the royal family, visiting the residence of the Asantehemaa.
The palace.
Yes, I mean the palace. To also set the day in motion. They will do this by crying and also invoke the spirits of our ancestors to be with us as we enter the 1 week proper. Beyond this, the Asantehene will also have to do perform some customary rites, of which is not made public. So right from there, then we will all meet at Bojare. Bojare is a platform set for gatherings like this. It's at the Manshia Palace. So the Asantehene will sit at Bojare to receive mourners from all over the place. Even before then, within the inner chambers, those who closer to the Asantehene will first have to pay homage to him before he comes to the public, to sit in public. So you should expect that this is the day you see mostly our queen mothers taking the shine out of the men, because this is purely something for the men. But don't forget that when it comes to issues with women, you see their men also rubbing shoulders with them. So definitely you see their Manhini and then the men also supporting them. In this case, before the Kukufu Manhima takes her place, you expect all the queen mothers would have seated. And I'm talking about Kukufu Hima because she plays a key role when it comes to.
But she's acting now.
The funeral.
She's acting now as a queen mother.
Yes, many would have thought that once we say the Mampohini is the second in command, definitely the Mampohima should be the one to lead. But unfortunately, no. Remember, I've said it before, that before the Asantehemaa stool, the palace was moved. It used to be at Kukufu.
Yeah.
The Asantehemaa used to reside at Kukufu, and then
it was moved in 1770.
Yes, so they moved it to Kumasi right after the Otumfuo or say to the first and the Konfanochi's collaboration. So this was to give face to the Asantehene and then the Asantehemaa Council, that once we have the Asantehene here, can we also have the Queen Mother, the Asantehemaa, closer to him? So all these things will happen. So just like I've mentioned, before the Kukufu Hima takes her seat, all the Aman Hima will be seated, but one person probably who wants to do this after the arrival of the Kukufu Hima will be Yasantua, the Jusoman Hima. She will then come to public to display her bravery in the war, the 1901 war. So that is exceptional. It's not all the Amanhima who will have to do this before the Kukufu Manhima.
So as we know, like you mentioned, Otumfuo would go to the Queen's Palace